Hello, Teacher Victoria here with Lead from Home, your spot for resources to help you get the schedule you want. A lot of our videos feature VIPKid skill builders or tools and resources, but honestly, many of the techniques that you will see here, especially in the next series of videos, can be used across platforms. Many of them will help establish rapport. Now, this particular video is all about parent feedback. Recently, I have shared that I was in an accident. You can barely see, I am healing. It has been almost a month since my accident. I was riding my bike and then boom, I hit pavement. Not just pavement, I hugged the curb. So that caused a lot of issues with where I was. I needed to heal and recover, but the result with working was I canceled 56, I think it was closer to 60 classes. I had to contest many of them or appeal. Part of the process was the cancellation series. So there are walkthroughs, check them out if you're needing some support on the VIPKid platform for knowing how to or learning how to use the tools that we have, like the mobile device, the mobile app. You can cancel from there. You can change or request soft cancellations. There are many ways that you can do this, and I really, really urge you to check those videos out because you never know when an accident will happen, when you fall ill, or you are unable to connect with your consumer. As we know that when we are unable to communicate with our consumer, part of the way that I had built my regular followers or regular student schedule was by doing a few things. I would say 8 things, and I have discussed this in one of my other videos, especially targeting new hires or individuals that are transitioning to the online ESL platform. There are 8 big things that are sort of essential, not sort of, they are essential for getting those back-to-back bookings or a schedule that we can be comfortable with at a regular full-time kind of income, right? Financial independence is always a goal. So let's talk about one of the things. It's not in any particular order. So I'm going to share a challenge that I gave myself. I'm putting myself a bit out there. I feel very vulnerable in having to do this, but there is a reason behind reaching out for support. It's humbling to do this. As I have spoken before, the accident caused me to lose about 60% of my followers. This means that I am booked, but only for maybe 36 classes a week, when before I was scheduled for much more. I really try to get 10 classes per day. That's where I'm comfortable with, and I do work 7 days a week. It's really nice. I enjoy waking up and seeing or even feeling the energy of the sunrise. That's part of my personality. I like those quiet moments that I can spend on my own, even if they're brief or short. It's just something that I enjoy, and it's one of the benefits to working in this platform, because our clients are up or getting ready for bed when we're just waking up. It kind of works out that way. So let's get to what this video is all about. But the feedback that we are going to write to the parent about our 5-apple status. We're going to include a portion in here about reaching out to the learning partners. If you are partnered or an independent contractor with any online ESL platform, there probably is a representative that you will go through to communicate to parents. Utilize this resource. With VIPKid, the learning partners are your liaison. They are your connection, that bridge to the parents. This helps maintain professionalism and helps with communicating things that may be a little tricky and can get lost in translation. So let's talk first about a message that we can send to our parents. I often like to keep my messages brief, but when I'm introducing or starting with a new student, this is just a good habit to have. Request those 5 apple feedbacks. This is assuming that you feel confident and that you are strong in your presentation, that you really went at it in the classroom and engaged the learner and helped that learner get to a goal that you had in mind for that particular lesson. Hopefully they're meeting the learning objectives, but that doesn't mean that we can't ask for that 5 apple status. Now, why do we ask for 5 apples? Need our 5 apples to be, or our percentage rate to be high. After all, with the changes that we recently went through at VIPKid in particular, we don't really need to meet a certain percentage for our feedback. Most of us are already or transitioning to the new contract or new pay adjustment. I think they call it the base pay raise adjustment. We no longer have raises based on our feedback percentage. So in the past or in the previous years, we had to have a specific feedback percentage. Okay, so with us not needing to do that anymore, why should we reach for a higher feedback percentage? Well, here's one reason. I think of these feedbacks, and it's really good to come up with your own idea for this, but the one that I connected with the most is it's almost like the Yelp for our consumers. Our percentage is like the Rotten Tomatoes, or if you're as old as I am, Siskel and Ebert, their reviews. It's the good books, this 5 apple rating with descriptions and class tags. This is how the parents are able to find us, or learning partners able to find somebody that they want for their learner or their student. Think about the class tags that I just mentioned, which is the second reason we should have a pretty high or balanced feedback percentage rate. So what are they? One, it's a review, and it's pretty honest. It keeps us working towards perfection. Okay, not perfection, but close to it. Hopefully we're all striving to meet the objectives, meet our own teaching goals, learning more about our craft, and just producing great quality service and care. At least we want it to be reflected. This is our validation for what we're doing in the classroom. And each classroom engagement matters. Okay, so that's one roundabout way to talk about feedback and how we can view it. The second one is that the class tags, some of the class tags like classroom environment, encouragement, proper pronunciation. Now, these are positive class tags. There are many others, and we are able to select a few to highlight who we are as a teacher. This is just one other way that the learning partners and the parent and the student can search for us. Parents usually have. I think about us. When we're shopping, we kind of have an idea of what we want. If we're looking for a tutor or a new program for our personal, ourselves or our children to match up, we want it to be a positive experience. So there might be things that we want to focus on. We also know our own children the best. I know my learner needs attention, needs to be engaged. They're often very distracted. So if I'm looking for a teacher, I want that teacher to have great classroom command. Now let's find out what that translates to in the class tags. But I want a good classroom environment. I also want a lively or enthusiastic instructor. So I'm going to look for those types of things, characteristics, class tags for the teacher. So All of those characteristics that I just described, the class tags, a way for us to review ourselves, monitor our progress, work on our own personal skills, and a way for the parents and others' parents. It's our best recruitment tool out there. Think about it. It's our Amazon.com review, our 4-star, 5-star. It's our Goodreads, our Siskel and Ebert, our Rotten Tomatoes. It's all of these types of reviews that explore how we are in the classroom. Okay, so how do we go about asking for a review? Feedback in these terms. Let's take a look. I have some samples, but I have 3 key things to keep in mind when you yourself decide to write the feedback request. At least that's what we can call it. Number 1, very important, be specific. What is it that you're asking for? Let's target that in maybe a short sentence. The second thing that we should look for is keep it simple. Even though we can share a story and bridge some incredible example of what you did and how you met your students' need, that really should be in a separate paragraph about the actual class. This is separate. We should keep it really nice and neat and all together, and only target the specific action that we are requesting and why. So we should keep it simple, maybe 2 or 3 sentences. We should also, when we're thinking about our feedback percentage, communicate with the learning partner. We may share a sentence or the message that we intend to send to the parent could get lost in translation, since this is something that is a little different than what we may be doing routinely. So clue the learning partner in when there's any kind of big change, or when you request the parent to do something, or maybe you're asking the student to practice something. Make sure you let the learning partner know, because they are going to be the ones that ask. Remember, your learning partners are the ones that reach out to the parents after every assessment, especially communicating with new learners, new to VIPKid. Okay, so let's review. We should be specific, keep it simple, and include the learning partners. Now, these are things that I did and I researched when I first got hired a year ago. And I did this for every single class that I had. And once the student became a regular, I dropped off the request for feedback. Now, because I have lost 60% of my regulars, my feedback percentage rate has fallen dramatically. My feedback for the last week is 1.7, I believe. Wow. That, of course, I did get a 5-apple feedback, but of all the classes that I taught that week, only 1 parent provided feedback. Now, with my classes going down after the accident, I knew that I was going to expect something. So more than ever, I have a revived passion to get my feedback rate up, because this is my own way, one of the only ways that I can market the quality of service, the quality of care and support that I provide in the classroom. So let's look at an example. Let's call it a sample to the parent. Here it is. It is a joy to work with student. I strive to provide excellent support and service to all students. I hope that I was able to do this for student's name again today. 5-apple feedback after each class reflects the student's success and our continued partnership. Now, you can phrase that however it is, use your language that you are comfortable with, but make sure that it is a call to action. I have more of a passive request here. I know I say be specific. I give the hint, and I'm not directly asking for it. There are other teachers that have been successful with very direct, please provide if you are happy with my service. That's just not me, my personality. If you are comfortable with writing those stronger sentences, please, please, by all means, do it. As a matter of fact, I challenge you, try 2 different styles. The biggest thing is to keep it simple, make the request, because yes, it matters. So let's take a look at to the learning partner. What would you say? There's one thing for sure that I do for every class. For the parent, I say thank you. It is a true gift to be invited to learn and share what I have learned, my skills, my uniqueness, my techniques with their particular learner. It is a gift. So I thank them for that. And because it's an opportunity for me to learn as well. So the first line that I always send to the learning partner and the final lines are similar. Thank you for your partnership and support. I have reached out to the family to provide a review of our class. With your careful guidance, I hope to increase my 5 Apple feedback score. The reviews will ensure I meet the family and the students' needs. Now, the implications are there. Again, I use a more kind of step back approach, but with this one, I'm a bit more clear. The learning partner understands why I need the feedback. I make a commitment to that particular student. Sometimes I'm a bit more personal and I will make a connection, 1 sentence, but I always try to keep it to 3 sentences or 4 sentences, nothing too big. Now, here's a tip. If you want to get a learning partner or to build a relationship with the learning partner, don't forget that when there is a holiday, this week is a national holiday, Mid-Autumn Festival. So in each visit or each lesson, it's so funny, I always refer to this as a visit. Each class I put in there warm wishes, great thoughts to you and your family this Mid-Autumn Festival. Always link that. And don't forget the learning partners. After all, they are part of your followers and help you connect to parents and students. All right. And like I said, your last line to anybody, this is to VIPKid, to any outschool, I said outschool, any online ESL platform or any platform. Part of this experience is giving thanks. Thank them again. Thank them in the beginning, thank them at the end, and celebrate that moment that you had with them. Thank you again for your kindness and support. I look forward to future lessons with student. Be specific and double check all the time that you write student and make sure that they are named by who they are. And with everything else that we mentioned, you got this. I'm cheering for you. I'm rooting for you. And know that I am going to be doing this starting tomorrow with all of my classes so that I can see my feedback rate hopefully climb. Now, I risk getting maybe a 4 Apple or a so-so classroom review, but that's okay. I'm after 1 year and after my accident, I look at it this way. There's only room to grow. And without that information, I don't know how to fix it, or I don't know that there's an issue or a challenge. It might be that one of the skills that I have or my personality just doesn't fit with the family or the student. Or maybe my personality is perfect for the student, but not quite meshing with the parents' expectations. This is the best way, or one of the ways that we can kind of level that out, especially if there are language barriers. So I wish you happy teaching. Follow me in my journey. Don't forget to subscribe because I will be making announcements about my progress if I go up in my feedback. I do share with you all. Happy teaching, and let's check out the cancellation walkthrough. Come on, let's go.